Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Total War Rome 2. Here today on the channel, we're back with our Divide et Impera modded Seleucid campaign. This is episode 3. In today's episode, we're going to be declaring war upon the Egyptians once more. Hopefully taking Alexandria and having the battle for the River Nile. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. Let me know in the comments feedback and suggestions for the series and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. The main objective for this series is to reforge Alexander the Great's empire and be the one undisputed successor kingdom. So, if you like the sound of that, support the series, and I'll do more. I'll put in the description below the mods I'm using as well. In the last episode, we managed to take 2 Galatian territories. We did have a minor war in the first episode against the Egyptians, defeating that original pharaoh. Now there's a new one. We currently have a defensive alliance with Macedon. Depending on who sort of becomes the dominant force in Greece, that might change. So the Egyptians are now fled here. They managed to draw out a full stack in the last episode, which was quite surprising. We've got to be wary of the Egyptian fleet in Alexandria and the capital garrison force. So if I besiege that should negate the ships, and I'll allow my secondary army to push north. I have Antiochus the king pushing south, and Antiochus II, my son, in the north. We currently outnumber them quite significantly. We have about 6-7k against their force. Let's have a battle against the braves of the Pharaoh. A lot of cavalry, a lot of infantry. This is a well-renowned army. 2-star commanding versing ours. The champions of Cerberus and the dread of Demos. The Battle of Alexandria in 271 BC. Okay, welcome to the deployment phase, guys. We're fighting on the River Nile. How cool is that? You can actually see it on the right here. Okay, so we have 6 units of hoplites. Oh, there's even some elephants hanging out there. I fear what lurks beneath. As an Australian, those Nile crocodiles are crazy. You guys over in the US have got like Nile crocodiles invading Florida, that's what I've heard, which is just crazy. I think like Nile and African crocodiles are the worst. Second are Australians, the Saudis. And then even like alligators are pretty mean over there. If provoked, aren't they? So, looking at this battlefield, there actually is a bit of a narrow corridor intertwining through the Nile. I wonder, like, how many legionaries were, like, jacked? Like, if you're told to push over the river there, like, how many legionaries were taken out by animals? I know, like, when... Oh, who was it? It would have been around the time of Mark Antony and Caesar's not coronation, but sort of triumph and stuff. When they had Carthage under their control, a lot of auxiliaries in North Africa were charged with bringing back lions to Rome and going out and capturing them and stuff for games and stuff. Wasn't there a whole thing about Mark Antony and his lions and stuff? What was that? I can't remember. But the spectacle and society of ancient Rome was so cool. Even like, yeah, I remember Caesar like flooded the little toes there. Why has that guy got no feet? Come on, you're fighting in the Nile. There's snakes and crocs and all this shit out here. Why are you not wearing some adequate footwear? Even some sandals or some thongs or flip-flops or something. Yeah. Caesar, anyway, flooded the... Was it the Colosseum? No, it wouldn't have been that. I'm just talking out my bum here. He flooded some theatre from what I can remember. Anyway. Me dribbling history, which is probably all wrong. Right. So, Antiochus is coming in with reinforcements now. The Seleucids are on the march. But let me know in the comments, guys, if you'd like me to expand and conquer. This is the first offensive war we've had for the series. Egypt declared war upon us pretty early on. Galatia. Both have been pushed back and sought for peace. They gave us a huge war chest, the Egyptians. I think it was like 7,000, which we invested back into Antioch and Mesopotamia. So we've got 8 units of cavalry now, 10 or so hoplites, another 10 or so sword infantry, 2 units of elephants as well. Hopefully they don't go wild once they see their cousins. Yeah, I guess, yeah, because we're like fighting with Indian elephants, which have been brought over from the Far East. These are African ones. Alright. I can't remember which ones are bigger. I think African ones are bigger, but I don't know. Alright, let's reform the line where we can. We're attacking them at the end of the day, so they're more than likely not going to push up. Let's unite in one cohesive army, and we'll push up. I will send some of my units over the river. I don't want them to run too much. But the elephants are now charging through. And our Seleucid heavy cavalry is coming through. We've got 2 units of elephants. 1 heavier variant. And 1 lighter as well. Alright, let's... once they get here, look to push up. We have numerical quality supremacy on them, but at the end of the day, the Egyptians are fighting in their own homeland. We're still holding our defensive position just in case they do charge, because there still seems to be a fair amount of foliage in front of us. So let's divide my army up into a couple of attack groups. I'll keep my generals in their own thing. We'll break up the cavalry into 2 4x4s. And our infantry and reserve as well. I've got to be careful about fatigue and fitness for this battle, because we're only slightly ahead. I'll speed things up and allow our men to come through, but it looks like, fortunately for me, they haven't pushed. If they caught me in transition, in moving my military forces, they might have caught me. But we're uniting up in one cohesive line, and then we'll push forward. Looking at the terrain, there seems to be a little bit of a boulder and a bulge there, but the River Nile is huge, and there seems to be a lot of rivers on the left and right there. So if I was to move up, how good's that? Because we could hold that choke point there. Nearly. We might be better off just to grab a couple units and swing it into this, just to control this entire pass. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. So if you can push to there. There seems to be a bit of a clearing further up. I'll put my archers in the second rung, or in that open area. Cavalry can go in the center. Alright, let's send a unit of cavalry into the forest here, and keep the other ones on the left. Can we cross through here? We can. I'd hate to get caught there, but we might be better off to do it. So, Antiochus, descendant of Seleucus, is on the march. Why are some of my elephants already bloodied? I'm not entirely sure why. I love how these guys are operating with no footwear. I don't know why they're doing that. The cavalry is slowly but surely moving up. And the rest are diverting on the right and left. Our elephants are slowly but surely pushing up as well. Yeah, they must have been attacked by something. That guy's got a tiger pelt on his back. That's incredibly cool. Yeah, there must have been... I don't know what it was. There still seems to be some elephants running around. It's a 63% decrease crossing the shallows there. The higher we can cross, the better. Before the enemy gets too close to us. We're on the march. We haven't seen anyone in sight just yet. Okay. Everyone's still holding. Oh, here we go. We finally broke in line of sight. They seem to be reposturing as well. A lot of pikes. And, oh, they've got some of their own military forces caught in the reeds. Like Moses, alright. Well, if their cavalry or units gets bogged down there, we might have to try and push and press it. They can see my entire force. Yeah, if we could sort of sit on the right there and hold, we might be able to catch someone there. Yeah, you got to be careful just moving through that water. It happens sometimes here in Australia as well. That horse trainers in Queensland and I don't think it's New South Wales, but mostly in Queensland, when you're going through rivers, you got to watch out for bull sharks because those things kill horses on the reg, bite huge chunks out of them, and salties as well. What are these huge boulders here as well? So we'll keep my elephants a little bit in reserve. We'll try and wrap around them where we can. We'll get our cavalry on the left and right. Our cavalry here has made their way over. And we'll try and push up. Let's see how they react. Some of them are still hanging out in the water. Okay, I've pushed everyone up. It's time to initiate the attack. Let's march forward. 3 units in the Nile. And then they got some there. So let's push up. Put the secondary line in reserve there. Ready to peel and wrap around. And we'll sit my archers here as well. Along with the generals. Elephants. We'll move you up as well adequately. Cavalry. You are slightly hidden. So try and keep that if you can. And I might just get these guys to come out in the open to sort of drag some of those forces away. Let's see how the AI reacts. The Egyptians are still holding their front line. It's about a 60-40. We have numerical supremacy. Let's use it and try and engulf it and wrap around their front line. They've got cavalry there. They still haven't seen us. We are so close to them. They still haven't seen... Oh, now they've seen us there. Go. Yeah, that was that. Damn it. Go, 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 go. They're going to cross that river. Oh, if it was infantry, we would have caught it. They might come and contest it. No, you wouldn't fight in the shallows and the reeds, would you? In the grizzly reeds. No, let's form a front line and cross when we have an ample opportunity. Let's swing our cavalry on the left-hand side. And we'll hold here on the right. Maybe pushing higher up to the end of the river will give us some space to cross because it will take a bit. And then we can get around behind the front line. Yeah, they're pushing quite further back. So try and cross towards the far end there. Oh, now they're starting to go across with those light skirmishes. Okay. Our infantry looks like they're going to engage slightly. And it looks like our cavalry there has hit their corner. We've now crossed. They've sent an Egyptian skirmisher to try and repel it back. Let's try and form a line and we'll charge. But it looks like the Seleucid and the Egyptian front line are clashing again once more. They haven't stopped the 4 units pushing across the river, but some medium cavalry there have come to intercept. Okay, you need to be pulled back here because you're just getting bogged down. Alright, our front lines are clashing. And our additional units are now moving up. Let's slow things down and give out some attack orders adequately. So push and attack where you can. And once everyone has been assigned a unit, the remaining should pivot, push and flank. And then we can cycle charge back with our cavalry safely. Okay, move the generals up. And once the archers get moved up a bit, we'll look to wrap. Okay. So our cavalry here is fighting in the thick reeds from that medium interception. Our front lines are now clashing. Although we're fighting in the Egyptian homeland, you think it'd be dry and sort of sandy and deserty. We're fighting in the thick tropics here. Alright. So we should be able to neutralize those mediums. I haven't thrown in my elephants just yet because they're happy to sit and skirmish. If you push them too far forward and overcommit, sometimes they can get taken out. We're starting to wrap around slowly on the left-hand side now. And some cavalry here has been freed up. Okay, those mediums have nearly been gone. And we can hit those hoplites from behind. What a really cool battle map. I don't think I've ever sort of played on the River Nile from this direction. I always feel like I'm attacking, or I'm like defending as Cleopatra, pushing forward, or hitting. Rome seems to like attack, like when you play as Rome, or when you sort of attack Egypt, you sort of attack from the left-hand side, either as Carthage, Macedon, Athens, maybe even amphibious assault. You rarely push on the right side of Alexandria and sort of fight closer to where the River Nile is. And it's reflected in this battle. So we're starting to pivot well here. They sat back and sort of lured us in. But if they pushed us, they might have caught us in transition. But this map is incredibly narrow. There's a lot of choke points, which is interesting. And the low visibility and skirmisher negate isn't helping them. They've got so many negative benefits already. My cavalry now has been freed up from the crossing and can now cycle charge into the back of the Egyptians. We've already destroyed a couple of thousand in the previous war. This might be the war to end all wars against the successor kingdoms. The elephants are running down the Alexandrian companion-inspired cavalry, and the Egyptians are nearly in a full retreat. Their heavy infantry seems to be holding, but not for long. My cavalry there have not been fruitful on the far left. Over the river when they pushed, they were good. Maybe we need to send in our elephants. Elephants! Charge! They're now going in with their iron and bronze helms, and they're running straight into pikes. Check out this guy. How cool would it be to have, what is it, like, I guess it's a tiger? A Indian tiger on your back. The Tiger King of the Seleucid Empire. So cool, having that pelt. The Egyptians are now in a full retreat. If they stood and held Alexandria, it would have been a hell of a fight. A capital garrison, 20 stacks of fleets and a full stack. It would have been a tough one. Especially on DEI, Divide et Impera. And Seaning's We're a more spear-focused faction. You can either... We've won. We'll try and run them down. You can either go full field battle, bringing pikes and a lot of skirmishers, or you can sort of go to the medium in-between that I've gone through, with a lot of hoplites and lighter units. Because, yeah, you could get a bunch of swordsmen available for sieges, but we just don't have the heavily armoured swordsmen like the Romans do, or even like decent Hastati variants, which is a shame. But no matter, we're running down the last of the Royal Egyptian swordsmen there. They're a very cool, unique variant. Some of them would be sort of Egyptian natives from that ancient Egyptian bloodline. Some would be Arabs, I guess, and then also some would be more Hellenically minded. And that's why those infantry classes are different, which is cool. We've managed to destroy one full stack. I'm sure Egypt at least has a couple more. But now they're in a full retreat. The Seleucids have won here today in the Battle of the River Nile. There's this poor hoplite making his way through the river. How scared and tired must you be to risk through croc-infested water? There's all those crazy videos, man, of the Nile crocodiles. Just like people, like some butcher feeding them scraps and stuff. They are huge. They are absolutely huge Nile crocodiles. Their head's like the size of a damn ironing dinner table, like an ironing board. They're huge. Anyway, we've had a decisive victory here today. 73k against 4. We had a 12 to 11k man battle. Looking at some of the casualties sustained and inflicted, we lost 1.1k, so we did lose a fair few Seleucid lives compared to others, but we managed to destroy 4,000 of theirs. Cavalry did really well, along with our lower to medium swordsmen. But we've won on the fields of Alexandria here today. A decisive victory, a decisive blow to the Ptolemy cause. Antiochus was victorious, with the champions of Cerberus at the helm. The Egyptian army baited in defeat. The pharaoh managed to charge them out to stop the Seleucids crossing, and now Alexandria burns. Okay, so can we take the ancient city now? Really? Oh, why is that? There's a reinforcing army. There's 77... What? Look at that. 7,400. There's 2 armies. Oh, no, it's 1 army. Or maybe it is 2. No, it's 2. Really? What? Oh, you're kidding me. How is that a part of the zone of control? So, there are... Oh, the pharaoh's outside. Oh, that's a bait. Oh, no. We'll try sabotage the pharaoh's army. So we've pushed over the Nile, thinking there was only 1 army. But there's actually a full stack and a bit being recruited at the back. Oh, wow. Yeah, we can't auto-resolve Alexandria. We'll at least move you up, just in case you do get attacked. Alrighty. Well. Yeah. That's crazy. I don't believe that. We'll try and bring down some military forces before we end the turn. We'll get my admiral down there to at least block the fleet from moving. That's crazy. You'd think it'd be a better auto-resolve as well. However, though. Okay, so that's slightly within our favour. Can we bring any military forces closer and further down? No, not really. Maybe getting some mercenaries might work. We'll try and stop some of this construction to give us a bit of a cash flow injection, which we are short. I surely be able to get some mercenary ships, you'd think. How far are you away? 4 turns. We might have bitten more off than what we can chew here against the Egyptians, but we'll end the turn, and I guess we'll see how they react. So they actually had about 11k before we crossed that. We've only got 7. They actually had numbers by 5,000 when we crossed. That's incredibly deceiving. You definitely need scouts, because we were sort of blind ahead. Yeah, so now they've come up with 7k, and now they outnumber us because we've only got 6. So this is turning into a hell of a fight for Egypt. Looks like we're going to be fighting the Egyptians once more in episode 4. We have to fight this one. We can't auto-resolve it. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, because the mighty Seleucid and Egyptian war still rages on. Has Antiochus overcommitted? And is this the end of the Seleucid campaign? If we lose these 2 full stacks, that's half my army's gone. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series, and if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.